welcome to you, Paralympic Winter Games fans. What a showdown we have for you this evening. It is session 12 out of 12 in the wheelchair curling event. And we have a winner-takes-all game to watch together. There are 3 spots already taken in the semi-finals. 1 spot is up for grabs. And whoever wins this game, the teams couldn't be closer. Whoever wins this game, they will get that final place in the semi-finals. It is the Republic of Korea against the home team from Italy. We are in for a thriller.
Let's feel your vibe.
Vogliamo sentire la vostra energia.
Because here we go!
E allora, via!
Teams have done their pre-game practice. We have done the last shot draw. It will be the home team from Italy. They will begin the game with last stone advantage in the first end. The big showdown is about to begin.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Please welcome the players who will compete in wheelchair curling mixed team round-robin session 12.
Let's say hello to the teams. Wearing darker blue uniforms and throwing red stones, it is the Republic of Korea. That is Nam Bong-hwang throwing 4th, Lee Heon-chul throwing 3rd, Cha Jin-ho throwing 2nd, and Bang Min-ya throwing lead. That's how they've been getting on, exactly in the middle. They are on 4 wins and 4 losses.
Sheet B, Norway versus Great Britain.
And so are the opposition. They are the home team. Throwing yellow stones and wearing light uniforms. From left to right, we have Angela Minardi throwing lead, Matteo Ronzani throwing 2nd, Fabrizio Be throwing 3rd, Skip and 4th, Egidio Marchesi, and that's how they've been getting on. Also, exactly in the middle, 4 wins, 4 losses. But only these 2 teams can qualify for semi-finals now. There is 1 place left up for grabs. It is a winner-takes-all. Whoever wins this game, yes, in last place in the semi-finals. Whoever loses their competition will finish. And that's how the standings look on the right of the screen. 3 green cues there already. Canada, China and Sweden already qualified. Final standings not yet clear. So every game still important out there. Every game can affect the final standings. Korea and Italy, they will not be thinking of that yet. Here's the Korean coach, Lim Sung-min. He is pumped for this final round-robin encounter. And Roberto Maino is being quietly confident about his team's chances here. 38 minutes thinking time for both teams. During that, the teams have 1 minute coach interaction. They can stop the clock. The ice conditions are perfect. It's getting tougher and tougher as the warmer weather's coming to keep the ice in great condition, but we've seen super consistent ice all week. It is Italy who have last stone. It will be Korea who start us off in the first end.
열 잡고 밀면 될 것 같아요. 열 잡을 것 같아요. 9 잡았네.
좋아요.
It is Bang Min-ya. He will start us off. So, very high accuracy from this Korean team. The Korean teams traditionally very strong in wheelchair curling. We're used to seeing the Korean teams in the men's and women's competitions as well for foot player. And Korea also one of the the most competitive, one of the most consistent teams here in wheelchair curling as well. Very nice throwing from Italian lead thrower Angela Minardi. She's had a great competition as well. It's been a little while since we had the Italian team here in wheelchair curling. They played in the first 2 editions of this event, starting in 2006, also in Italy, back in Torino. Italians finishing 7th at that outing and 5th at the next Paralympic Winter Games in Vancouver in 2010. They've been doing well recently, the Italian team. Finishing 10th, 8th and 10th in the World Championships. And really the crowd have brought a magic atmosphere this past 10 days. That will really help the Italians. And I'm sure Korea will realise they cannot get off to a slow start here in this game. The home fans will be roaring the team on. Important for Korea to settle quickly, feel comfortable with the ice out there.
Sei?
Sì, quando vuoi.
No, sono stata troppo.
That is a nice start from the Korean lead thrower. What are our objectives in this first end? You will know it by now. No score yet. First end out of 8. Korea do not have last goal, and they will be interested in simply trying to prevent Italy from making a big score here, from getting out to a strong start.
12,50 era, Angela.
And the best way of trying to do that is to attack that centre area. If you get to the centre first, then you're blocking access to Italy, and they will at some point have to do something about it. So first throw of the game for Cha Jin-ho.
괜찮아요, 좋아요.
2초만 3초? 가드? 괜찮아요.
And this is a bright start from Korea.
괜찮아. 거의 3초 3초 반.
They don't need to get points in this first end. They really just want to prevent Italy having scoring opportunities. But sometimes the best form of defence is a better attack. Korea then already asking the question of Matteo Ronzani.
Dai che bella, dai che bella. Bravo Matteo, bravo. Va via tutto, guarda. Bravo.
That's a lovely throw to open up his account this evening. Yeah, very popular player with the fans here, Matteo Ronzani. And he'll be delighted with that as his opening effort. Getting rid of 2 reds and opening a big path towards the centre. Good job from him.
7초 4가 나오네. 남자 7초 4가 나오네.
세컨볼이 친구. 네. 트랙트를 하니까 우리가 저렇게 해야 돼. 더. 좀 타이트하나요, 나인이? 타이트했어.
아까 타이틀.
저좀 11, 12 잡았잖아. 왜 떨어져?
It's not quite what Korea were looking for, but
나인이.
doesn't do any harm. Puts another stone out front. Stones out front are helping Korea. The other option is what we see Italy looking for here, is to call their bluff a little bit. Korea putting stones out front to help themselves, but the guard is guard. Anybody can try to wrap a stone around the back of everything, and that's exactly what Italy have decided to do. Try to get to that centre area first, but that is a risk. It's the more aggressive strategy. We love to see that when we're watching. Have stones in play. What's Van will set up. But you have to be careful. You don't want that dropping short, because that is a stone that now helps Korea.
현철아, 저기 들어올 쳐 3초.
감사합니다. 화이팅! 화이팅!
Teams have had a practice prior to the game. They should have a good feel for how hard they need to throw the stone. I do like to see a nice aggressive opening. Sometimes we can see the teams being fairly conservative, just trying to keep things quite clean. Not too many stones in play in this first end. Great to see both teams willing to take on the aggressive tactics right from the start.
No, uguale, Angela.
Fabrizio will be first-time Paralympian. What a place to make his Paralympic debut, right in front of the home fans here in Cortina d'Ampezzo, in this magnificent stadium. And what a stone to throw with his first effort of this critical game. Super throw for Beek there. Stone from Korea, decent throw, but just slipping on a little bit, and leaving space for Italy to get to the centre scoring area.
백에이트!
뭐 있어?
머리카락.
백에이트!
2초 반? 저게 2초 6이었어. 앞에 서도 돼. 2초 반에서
앞에 서면 안 됐지.
5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 7.
타이트하게 잡혀갖고.
2초 반. 좋아. 잘 가고 있어.
떨어져야 돼.
Korea then, they just want to follow that yellow stone.
1초야.
That's going to slip a bit long again. The risk of playing towards the centre when you do have last stone. So if you're Italy in this first end, the risk is that your opposition oftentimes, they can just follow you straight in and kind of block that path to make more than one shot, but that is an early mistake from Korea. So the home fans will be willing Fabrizio Beek to make exactly the same shot, please. We often say that's the most difficult stone in curling. Same again, please.
Vai su, Fabri.
It's not bad. Just need to get round the guard. He's not quite going to, but that has blocked access for Korea as well.
저기.
그리고 나서 나중에 대박에.
This early stage, though, with the first end, we have a long way to go. 1 point to Italy, that's okay for Korea. The last stone advantage goes to the team who didn't score.
Yeah,
So if Italy score that yellow stone currently lying in the centre there, that's okay. That means it would be 1-0, and Korea would have last stone advantage in the second end. But Nam Bong Kwang there, Korean skip and fourth thrower, recognising that the yellow just thrown by Fabrizio Bich. That is a dangerous stone. Italy could just punch that forward a little bit. All of a sudden it would be 2 yellows in the house, so just removing that one sensibly.
7초 8. 조금 더 잡아도 되겠어.
조금 더 잡. 이마웃이 걸려서 더 잡아줘.
It does though open up that path to centre again. Italy won't be very worried about those 2 reds on the left of the centre line, the left of our screen as we see it. They're the ones with the yellow right in the centre at the moment. So they want to put the pressure on using that stone that's already there. The Italian team really bringing the style on and off the ice. Egidio Marchesi with his wonderful national coloured glasses there. His countryman at the Olympic Winter Games, Mattia Giovanella. He had his curling shoes in the Italian colours. They were resplendent. That is a decent throw for his opening gambit here in session 12.
좀 줘도 괜찮아요.
And there's still space to join that yellow in the centre. Let's keep going though.
4초
I'm
8.
not sure it's got
4초 8.
quite enough gas in the tank. It's not going to get there. And a big opportunity for the home team to get a second point on the board here.
LSD 할 때도 이런 거 아니에요.
If the home crowd could will a stone into the rings to get a second point here, they would be. If the Stones are listening, they will realise the huge support they have from all the home fans.
Bravo Egidio. Buona, ok?
This looks lovely. Really a legend of Italian curling, Egidio Marchesi, and I think that has just done enough. That will be 2 to Italy. Just keep going, grabbing just enough of the 8-foot, the white circle. And cheerful little acknowledgement from Matteo Ronzani there. But yeah, Korea right to have a look. They may ask to measure it just because the stones are fairly far away from each other, just to make sure. From our angle, it does look like 2 yellow. They have agreed. A super start for the home team. The crowd are delighted. After one end, it is Italy 2, Korea 0.
Bello, dai.
partito che la blog gioca con 그렇게 싶으면 얘기를 하세요. 자, 다시 할 수 있어요. 코리아! 웨이트 조금 치는데. 사이드 한번 해볼게요.
Great to see so many home fans here in this majestical venue. And it is the home team Italy. They are leading Republic of Korea 2-0 going into the second end.
Angela, 5 secondi.
Guardia!
Vai pure, Angela.
Nel senso senza fretta.
Sì, però devo vederlo perché sennò...
Sì, no, dico nel senso senza fretta.
Dove vai? Quattordici. Brava, 14.
Oh, che guardia che stai facendo, Angela?
Super start from Angela Minardi.
Perfette.
She has also played in Paralympics before. She and Egidio, the two of them played together in the Vancouver event in 2010. So bags of experience in this Italian team. And why is that a good shot? It's not in the rings, so it wouldn't score any points. But the reason it's a good shot is because it is protected by free guard zone. All the area from that green line, that's the playing area, beyond the green line, up to the rings, up to the tee line. All of that area is called free guard zone. And what that means is any stone there, like yellow from Angela Minardi, any stone in that area is protected until 5 stones have been played. You cannot remove an opposition stone from play. You can move it around if you're clever, but you cannot take that yellow out of play until 5 stones have been thrown. And that's why that's such a nice throw from Angela Minardi. She's throwing a very safe stone there that can't be removed yet.
Dai che bella, Angela. Dai che bella.
Teammates like this one already.
13.
Brava!
Brava, Angela.
And that is indeed a lovely throw from Angela Minardi. It's still red, it's closest. Here comes the yellow, right in behind that first stone that she threw. Lovely stuff from Minardi. It's still the red that's in scoring position. It's just slightly closer. But importantly, that red is behind tee line. That red can only get further away if you push it. Whereas the yellow, that's in the front rings. That's the danger area. That's the area you really want to control. Is the area ahead of tee line. A stone there, that's a stone you can push further towards centre, or you could use to bump onto another stone. So even though the yellow is not currently in scoring position, that's a danger. So bang, Angela. She would just want to take a little bit of pace off this stone. That's a fine effort from her. That is a lovely throw. That is exactly what she was asked for. Just managing to tuck most of that stone in behind the yellows.
Quando sei mi metto. Sei? Io sono. Dai che bella.
Teammates like this one again. It is curling though. Needs to get around the guard. He needs to get around the guard. He has. That is a good throw from Matteo Lanzani. He has done 2 things with that. He has opened up a path to that lovely red stone by Bang Minja. And he has now a second yellow to concern Korea.
좋아.
objectives reversed in the second end.
잠깐만.
더!
It is Korea who have last stone advantage.
굿샷. 좋아.
That is a good throw from them.
9초 3이야.
9초 3. 9초 2.
웨이트가 테이커도 공간 안 나간다.
지금 얼음 상태가 그래요.
Danger now building then for Italy.
좋아. Quando sei mi metto.
Important as they have that yellow in the front rings. But a few reds starting to build up now.
io ci sono.
If you do have last stone, opposition stones building up, it's not ideal, but you have the final say on matters, whereas if you don't have last stone, and there's a whole lot of opposition stones building up, that represents significant danger. Here, that's
Vabbè, almeno uno è andato a fuori.
not
dai.
quite what Matteo Ronzani wanted, but he has removed one red from the scoring area. There is still a yellow in that front ring. Well, that found a decent path in the end.
현출아 1번 3번이야. 1번 3번.
이거 열고 하는 게 좋을 것 같은데.
그럼 상대 넌백 때리기 쉽잖아.
아니면 놔두고 다른
런백은 힘들어요. 이쪽 들어가는 건 어때? 사이드로? 들어가면 센터 공간이 너무 넓어.
상대 쓰라고 우리가 딴 거 하면 어때요? 왜냐면 상대 팀에 따라서 작전을 좀 변경해도 되잖아.
근데 필 했을 때 상대가 넌백 때리기 너무
런백 때리기
들어가면 상관없을 것 같아.
You don't want to be using up too much time early in the game here.
그래 상대보고 하라고 그러고 우리는 우리 거 가요.
We have 38 minutes thinking time. We saw one team almost running out of time in the 8th end earlier on in the competition. You really want to try to be very conservative with your time at the beginning of the game before things get complicated, and that leaves you a bit of time once the game is really getting to the business end.
들어가야 돼. 너도.
Discussion from Korea. They are lying 2 shots.
타이트하다 오늘. 괜찮아요.
지금
자꾸 타이트해.
I don't speak Korean,
들어가봐야
so
돼.
I'm not quite sure what the conclusion was, but I doubt it was that. That really only helping Italy. Let's think about this. Italy, they are 2 points ahead. They lead 2-0. If Korea score 1 red, then that's okay for Italy. That would make the overall score 2-1, and last stone advantage would return to Italy. So a score of -1 at the moment to Italy. That means a score of 1 to Korea instead. That's actually fine for Italy, and we may see Italy playing towards exactly that for an objective. You don't need to be too concerned about the red that's right on the centre, but this is a wise decision to just remove the second counter for Korea. And that's an important strategic idea if you're learning curling, is that quite often in curling, actually, a score of 1 to your opposition, that's exactly what you want.
자, 파이팅. 파이팅. 여기서 흥되면 안 된다. 스테이도 괜찮아.
라인 좋아, 라인 좋아.
좋아.
안 떨어지는데?
좋아.
안 떨어져.
The Korean team rolling the stone down the ice,
8초 4.
asking the stone to curl just a bit more. It doesn't.
웨이트를 조금만 줄여.
Really, the objective with that stone, it wasn't just to remove that yellow. They don't really need to worry about that yellow. The objective was to remove the yellow and roll towards centre, but it's rolled too far.
O se no spingiamo questa su questa.
Ma poi va via tutto.
Vieni dentro!
appunto.
13!
Quant'è il punto?
13!
Dai Angela, picchia duro.
Remember what we said then? That a score of 1 to Korea, that's fine for Italy. They don't need to take big risks and really try to remove that red on the centre. Italy don't need to score any points here. We're only on the second end. And a score of 1 to Korea.
Sorry.
Italy would still be leading overall, and they would have last zone advantage back again. So this is pretty nice from Fabrizio Bich.
Bisogna aver già spinto
Trying to
tanto.
make it difficult for Korea to score 2 from here.
Però la Juve sembrava che aprissimo
Però
tutto.
c'è. Perché lì ta.
They did leave a bit of space though, and Korea making the most of that. Now it is 2 reds in play. And now we will see Italy take those stones in the centre a bit more seriously. Lovely throw from Korean third. That's Lee Haeon-chul.
Vai. Guarda che bella.
Here for legend of Italian curling, Egidio Marchesi. Started his Paralympic Winter Games journey in Italy. He continues his Paralympic Winter Games journey in Italy.
12:30.
Needs to reach that red. So close.
Volevo dirti, quasi meno ghiaccio, volevo dirtelo io. Eri più
Right
stretto,
finding
ma
the
meno
right
ghiaccio,
path though.
perché cavolo. Per andare là, tu
뭔가 뒤에 거는 나중에 치면
Really
되니까.
Italy with the
뒤에 거 칠 필요 없어.
뒤 앞쪽으로 세우라고.
right start there in the first end. Really,
앞에 서도 돼.
really finding
앞에
consistent
서도 돼.
throws. But it's Korea who have really stepped up in this second
앞에
end.
서도 돼요.
근데 아까
아니 똑같이 잡았어.
웨이트만.
좋아. 더.
They'll be looking for something similar.
오케이.
There is still a path
굿샷.
to that 4 foot. That's the green circle. He's done it again. Oh, the Korea have done it again. That's their skip today. That is Nam Bong Kwang.
이제 킬 나왔어.
Remember, a place in the semi-finals at stake here. 3 places already occupied. 1 place in the semi-finals remaining. Whoever wins this game, that place will be theirs.
No, se la
No other
prendi
teams
piena,
can
una va
qualify.
di là e una va di qua. Dai che lo fai,
We have
Gigio.
3 teams already in semi-finals, and
Nove,
either
10.
Korea or Italy
No,
will be
di
the
più.
team to
Le
join.
9:10 che fai?
9.
9.
Dai.
Vai. Grande Giulio.
Doesn't like it, Marchesi. This is a big throw. He doesn't want to give Korea any more chance to score here. But that is not what he was looking for. And unfortunately for the home fans here, they're going to need all their energy to cheer their team, because Korea has a wide open path.
아니야, 괜찮아.
Just drop another red in to score here. Korea having 3 reds here, and they will not get a better chance to put a big score on the board. Well, lucky you, Italy. Every point at this level is so important. Big difference between a score of 3 or 4. It is a score of 3 though. And that started off well, that second end, but a couple of loose shots from Italy. Some very precise play from Korea, and they are straight back onto the scoreboard with a big 3. It is Korea 3, Italy 2.
바깥쪽 맞으면 점수 안 돼. 스테이에서 살짝 안쪽으로 들어와야 돼. 그래서 안에 포켓 잡은 거거든. 3초 7이었어요 방금. 약간 한 번도 안 썼나 해서 약간 여유 있게 잡았어요. 자, 지금 그래도 원점 돌렸다고 생각하고 다시 한번 합시다. 왜냐면 들어오게 해놓고 시작할게요. 즐깁시다. 코리아! 빨리!
Ma l'ho detto io, l'ho fatto prima. Infatti già il primo gli ho detto. Dai, forza. Matteo, è andata, dai. Sì, sta tranquillo. Dai.
No, ma nessun problema, era solo per analizzare il tiro. Forza. Dai, alla grande.
Dai.
Vediamo.
Questo ci fa capire che dobbiamo prendere il centro.
Here is the Olympic flame here in Cortina up in the mountains. And it is Republic of Korea who are currently winning against the local team.
웨이트도 약했지만은.
Last on advantage. Switches again, back to Italy. And since Korea putting a big score of 3 on the board, it is Bang Min-ja who starts us off here in the third.
살짝 하드. 3초 팔이 안 들어가네.
Looks like it found a patch of Velcro almost on the ice. Just stopping short of the rings. We spoke about why that's a really lovely position for a first throw.
Dentro o fuori? Dentro o fuori?
That red in our picture from Bang Min-ja. That is protected by free guard zone. Italy not allowed to remove that red from play until 5 stones have been thrown. 5 stones total.
Angela, aspetta, vieni dietro a questa.
Bravo, dai. Ma potevamo dirlo allora se la pensavamo uguale, scusa.
13 però,
Quando vuoi. Buona Angela. Dai che buona! 12:30.
Team likes it already. just connecting with the Korean stone, but she had exactly the right weight. And that yellow just finding a nice spot in the front ring there. As I've said quite often in this tournament, the first thing we notice about wheelchair curling, the difference between wheelchair and non-wheelchair curling, is that we don't have sweepers in wheelchair curling. And there have been a bunch of stones that if I could just have dropped a couple of sweepers onto the ice for the players out there, I'm sure we could have got the sweepers to get the stones round behind guards, drag the stones a little bit further. But that increases the degree of difficulty. It's harder to meet the high levels of accuracy here in the wheelchair game. Every shot has increased difficulty because you don't have your teammates ready to sweep. And you're using only upper body strength, not leg drive like foot players. There are particular conditions for the wheelchair players that simply increase the degree of difficulty for their stones. That was a bit of a loose shot from Korea, and Angela Minardi making no mistake. That is a super setup from her. I cannot overstate how nice your life is if your lead thrower can set up the ends as nicely as Angela Minardi. Don't ever think that if you play lead at the club that it doesn't really matter, or that means I'm not as good as the rest of the team. That is not at all what it means. It is such a nice thing when you're a lead to set up the team, to set up your teammates, set up the end. Your teammates will thank you.
지금 8.7인데도 지금 거기 떨어져요.
센터 잡으면.
그 센터로.
9. Sì.
Che buona, bravo Teo.
Has that yellow just managed to spin itself into the rings? If any part of the stone is touching any part of the rings, that is a stone that can score. If you're not sure, either to establish if it's protected by free guard zone, or at the conclusion of the end, if we're not sure whether it should score a point or not, there is another device. It's very simple. It is a 6-foot metal rod. 6 feet is the radius of the curling rings. Curling invented hundreds of years before the metric system, and at some point you choose the terminology and you're committed to it. But we shall never know. Korea recognising the danger of that yellow and removing it.
13.
Still advantage Italy in this third end after just one early miss from Korea, and that's all it takes at this level. That's really the difference between Paralympic athletes and, say, players at the club. It's really the number of mistakes you make. You will not get many mistakes at this level. And that's why every time you get a loose shot or a half shot from your opposition, you must make the most of it. At the club, yeah, you'll probably get 1 or 2 mistakes every end.
15,70,
Matteo. Not at this level.
15,70. Dai, 15,70.
현출아 하나만 하자.
컨트롤.
럼벨.
뒤에 스톤이 어디 있어?
거기 겹쳐져 두껍게 맞으면 돼.
바깥쪽 좋아, 내가 봐서는. 떨어져, 처음 쓰면. 안 떨어져, 야, 안 떨어져. 그런 말 하지 마세요. 그래? 아니, 모르면 제가 물어볼게요.
The stakes could not be higher in this final round robin encounter. Both of these teams exactly in the middle of the table.
오케이, 오케이.
That is a winning shot from third floor, Lee Aeon-chul.
조금만 이쪽 받았어, 뭐. 이것도 살고 와서 하는데. 그래. 오케이, 오케이.
The prize on offer. Whoever wins this game, they will clinch the final spot in the semi-finals. It's all or nothing for both these teams.
Ma cosa devi fare?
Punto dietro la rossa. Ma sì, ma non era poco ghiaccio? No, è lenta. Lenta.
It's going from bad to worse a bit for Italy. Fabrizio wanted to get that yellow in behind the red, but
들어오는 게 좋아.
인턴으로.
punched it into the rings.
바깥으로.
The silver lining is that Italy do have last stone in this third end. They will have the final say, the final opportunity to get to the centre. There could be some pressure on the shoulders of Egidio Marchesi. The team not really managing to build on the good start from Minardi. A courageous call from Korea.
더 잡아야겠.
The other option would be to remove the yellow Italian guards. That would be no stones for Italy to hide behind. That would be the conservative approach. But for us viewers, an aggressive approach. With lots of stones in play, that's always more fun to watch. But it is high risk, high reward. Italy can see most of that stone.
Sì. Bravo Fabri.
No, che bravo.
The whole team likes this one. That is coming in at some pace, though. That yellow is not going to hang around.
Bravo!
It needed to be going along fairly quickly, that stone. The faster a stone goes, the less it will curl. And you can see that yellow making it past the guards out front. What Italy didn't want was to curl too much and then crash into the guard.
여기는 다 돌려쳐요.
That does give Korea another opportunity to put a red into play.
이쪽 팔.
Nam Dongkwang just using some of the barrier there. Yeah, he's so curly, almost needing to put his brush on the carpet.
웨이트!
This looks pretty nice from the Korean skip.
3.6이야.
Oh no, that's just going to come up short. I heard Bang Minja roaring that stone down the ice, but
몇 초야?
아니, 내가 아까
it's just going to come up a bit short.
어,
Lucky you, Italy.
basta, hai visto che esce?
Sì, vai
E anche
dentro.
la sua è uscita. Vieni
Now, it
più
depends a
su
little bit
con
what you
gli
want here.
Devi andare su con 12,50 là,
altri. Sali ancora.
O no? Con 12,50 bisogna andare su.
As always, there is an aggressive approach and a conservative approach.
Che velocità?
13.
By the look of it, Italy going for the aggressive approach.
13,20 questa.
Allora
Love to see it.
12,50.
Sì, 13,20 questa qua, ora dove è arrivata? Che non sei neanche appoggiata. O no, Angela?
Sì, non mi ricordo, l'avevo detto il tempo,
Sì.
13 qualcosa.
Sei 12,80 tu. 12,50.
A little bit of a wobble then in the Italian middle order in this end. Egidio Marchesi, if they want to score 2,
Questa è buona, vedi?
he will need to get both points by himself.
Top.
13 e 15.
This looks awfully nice. This looks awfully nice. Wonderful throw from the Italian skip. He has been there, done that.
Questa è un 13. 12,50, bravo.
If he does feel nerves, I've never seen it. Look at that. Just making it round those guards by nothing at all. Yeah, no easy pass to that yellow.
이거 테이프하면 반대로
Those two
보여요.
reds suddenly blocking the path.
그냥 들어와요. 그냥 하면 1번이 돼요.
그럼 열로 들어와야지, 열로.
이것 때문에 걸려. 저 인터 열려서 이거를 다 길어가지고 다 돌려서 쳐요. 와서 봐. 와요.
You can see the thinking time in the background there. Both teams have a thinking time clock. The clock goes off once the stone has been thrown, once the stone's running. And we do have plenty of time.
가기 좁아.
Yeah, you don't want to waste too much time early in the game here.
바깥으로는 아까 안 봤어요? 다 돌려서 치는 거, 넘치는 거. 그러니까 이거 옆에 봐주고 이것도 생각하는데 맞고 야가 들어가고 이 정도밖에 안 보여. 하얀데 조금밖에 안 보여. 들어가기 좁다고. 뭐라고요? 저쪽으로 하면 들어가기 좁아서 안 못다니까. 들어가기 좁아도 지금 하고 싶은 게 뭐예요? 이쪽이 안 낫냐 이거지 우리는. 이쪽은 다 돌려서 쳐요. 어? 돌려서 친다고. 아니 네 거는 많이 보여서 그래. 한번 해봐요 그럼.
이 정도도 되니까.
The type of shot, not really in question.
들어가는 건 저쪽이 낫죠.
We need to get a red further into the house, closer to the centre than that yellow. There's really no pass to that yellow. Not much we can do about that. The question is, where do we want to put the red? We could stick to the other side of the sheet. We've played a couple stones on that path and we know it. But you would really be throwing the stone awfully wide to get it to curl all the way around there. So the other idea is to come through the opposite side of the sheet and use the other dart that's still in play. We haven't thrown so many stones down this path, but this looks like a great effort. It is just going to come up short though. I wonder if that was because we haven't played so many stones on that path.
2초 반만 나왔으면 좋아하는데.
And maybe the ice just not quite as fast on that path. Maybe still a little bit colder.
Ghiglio, quella là era 12,80, Questa era 13, 12,50.
A lot of number talking curling always. And you can either be describing the rings, the 12 foot, the 8 foot and the 4 foot, the blue, white and green respectively, or as Italy was doing there, you can be describing how fast you want the stone
vedi, questa è bella.
to go end to end. And typically the timing is between the thick green hog lines, the horizontal lines.
Ci vuole tanto.
And that way you can communicate what kind of speed the stone needs to land in the right place at the other end. Now we saw him do this beautifully in the first end, and he has done it beautifully in this third end. Well, just as we said, if Italy wants to score 2 points
Grande
here,
Gigi, grande.
they are both going to come from the throws of that man there, the coolest man in every sense in the arena, Egidio Marchesi.
Dai, così ti voglio, grande.
That has cheered everyone up.
Piccoli
Non
dettagli
bisogna
perché qua
mollare perché
High scoring game,
siamo lì.
and after 3 ends, it is Italy 4, Korea 3.
Teniamo tutti i conti, tutte le cose giuste.
Frena però, frena. Bravo.
Però adesso io imposto con la guardia sempre. Però visto che anche loro
Some
vanno
fans enjoying this exciting encounter. It is Italy leading Korea 4-3 going into the 4th end.
Vai Angela, guardia!
vai Angela.
Tranquilla, tranquilla.
Ma voi?
Guardia!
I tempi!
14!
14 vuole. Mamma mia!
Ever reliable Angela Minardi.
Spettacolare Angela. Bravo.
She has dropped another stone into that free guard zone. That stone protected. Cannot be removed by Korea until 5 stones are played. And win or lose, she is determined to leave her best shots out there on the ice. Yeah, she's not going to go home wondering. All 8 players determined to bring their best stones to the game this evening. And that is just an expression. You don't need to bring your own stones. The curling club has all the stones you could need. You don't have to drive around with 20-kilogram curling stones in the boot of our car.
센터는 그래도 이쪽 팔이 잘 들어가네.
그래도 지금 스윙을 실어주는 스윙을 하는 거예요. 지금 그 초는 그래도
A nice start from Bang Minja, but not fully behind cover. You can see most of that red.
6?
Sì, che buona! Vai che buona!
Vai che bella Angela!
Ehi! Perfetta Angela, perfetta!
And just a nice controlled throw from Angela Minardi.
Cazzo!
That's very nice from
Va
her.
bene, l'hai tolta da lì, dai.
Ma la spostata va bene.
Era un pochino meno.
We're learning curling.
11,50.
We can learn from this sort of situation as well. She doesn't need to throw a huge weight at that. Push that red out of play. We can get around to that later as well.
아니면
Don't always need to throw a big weight at things sometimes. It's good to keep stones in play. Just move things around a little bit. However, there is an opportunity for Bang Minja to play a similar shot here. She can see that yellow just thrown by Angela Minardi. And an early chance to get a second red into the rings, into scoring position. Overcurling.
10초 2.
괜찮아.
10초 2.
Dai Matteo, silurala.
You can feel the atmosphere in the stadium. Every stone can change the energy. Just give the momentum back to one team or the other. So Matteo Ronzani, he's taken his hat off. Guido Marchesi has put his hat on. They do have one each. I don't think they need to share. It's a fine throw from the Italian. Removal of Korean stones is the easiest way to stop them scoring. That is Italy's objective in this fourth end. That's fine from Korea, but rather defensive. That red open, and now Italy can go ahead and remove it.
9!
Picture of concentration, Matteo Ronzani. Lovely smooth throw. Making no mistake, getting rid of that red. He's happy if that yellow hangs around as well. It is Korea though. They need to really decide how the end goes tactically wise. They're the ones with last stone. They need to choose. Are we going to be defensive? Shall we be aggressive? Keep stones in play. Italy really responding to how Korea is playing this end, and Korea being quite defensive here, removing stones from play rather than trying to use that guard that's out front. And this could be a deliberate strategy. Just be conservative, leading into the halfway break at the fourth end. And he's done that pretty nicely. He removes the yellow and rolls in behind that yellow guard out front. And Fabrizio will wrap a stone round and still remove that red. You can see what, about half a red? So he doesn't want to throw this too hard. The faster the stone is going, the less chance it has to curl. It would curl eventually on an infinitely long curling sheet.
Aspetta che c'è anche una bottiglia qua che rompe in ballo. Ok.
No, he doesn't like that. Maybe slipped a little bit. Yeah, it looks like he didn't like that release. But it's not too bad. It's not too bad. Fabrizio Leif making good shots, even when he's not trying.
Ti sei preso una sedia. Però l'hai fatta, quindi.
He didn't like the way he threw that stone, but it found its target. And for a bonus, the yellow even hangs around. This then definitely a deliberate strategy from Korea. That yellow stone not only towards the side of the sheet, but also now towards the back of the sheet as well. If Korea wanted to, they really now have plenty of space. They could put a red counter in behind the guard. So this looking like a deliberate strategy that Korea want to be defensive. I'd say it looks like they're playing for a blank end. That means they deliberately score 0 points. And remember we said that the last stone advantage, that goes to the team who scored in the end. Well, if nobody scores, we go back to the end before that. It was the last team who did score. That would still be Italy. Therefore, in the event of a blank end here with no stones counting at the end, we would see 2 zeros go up on the board, a 0 for Korea and a 0 for Italy, but it would be Korea who keeps that last stone advantage. And you sometimes see teams doing that when they feel like we're struggling a bit to get stones into play here. We're struggling a bit to maybe score more than 1 point. They don't really want to score only 1 point, Korea. They would much rather score 2 or more.
Briciolo lungo. Peccato un briciolo lungo.
But Italy forcing the issue. Wrapping a stone in behind that guard. And really asking the question of Korea. Well, we've seen 1 or 2 heavy stones down that line. I think we could remove that yellow if we wanted to, but aggressive play from Italy, forcing a switch of tactics for Korea. And now following that stone towards the centre. This is coming in hot. This needs to make a connection. Well, what do I know? They needed all that ice, realising how much that stone was going to curl.
Aspetta che devo vedere quanto.
Guarda giù come lo dici.
Very much with this Italian team. Love to give the home fans more excuse to come and support them in the semi-finals. All 4 teams in the semi-finals will play 2 more games. They will play the semi-finals, of course, and then all 4 will have a medal game as well. The winners will go to the gold-silver match. The losers of the semi-finals to the bronze playoff. And wouldn't this Italian team love to give the home crowd more curling to cheer for? But this Korean team, they are no dummies. They have a whole pile of achievements at the highest level. They were the silver medalists in the most recent World Wheelchair Curling Championship. 1 or 2 new faces in the team, but several players representing there. Korea have played at every wheelchair curling Paralympic Winter Games since 2010, where they also won silver. As we said, Korea really one of the stalwarts of wheelchair curling. They have a lot of players, a lot of experience. Only one team can qualify, only 1 place left in the semi-finals. First throw from Egidio Marchesi, not finding the right angle. And this is a big opportunity for Korea to get a second red now. Oh, lucky you, Italy. He takes out his own stone with it. And Italy can breathe a sigh of relief. They did leave that red lying around at the back, but that throw from Nam Bong Kwang, conveniently removing any danger. And after a flurry of activity and some aggressive tactics, it looks like we're back to defending. Just wants to make a connection with that red stone. Egidio Marchesi, he's done that beautifully. The maximum then Korea can score here is 1 red. Only 1 shot remaining. And often in this situation, we're just approaching the halfway. Korea may feel like, we may not want to score 1 point here actually. We would rather score 0 points. And then try again in the 5th end. See if we can get more reds into play. And keep that last stone advantage. And that is exactly what they've done. So that's stone there, not a mistake, that's on purpose. Korea deciding, yeah, we don't really want to score only 1 point. So remove the yellow, remove ourselves at the same time. Keep that last stone advantage. And that means after a blank end in the 4th, the score in our critical game here, it will remain Italy 4, Korea 3.
Bene, Roby.
Confirmation of the score at half-time. Both teams will now have a short half-time break, get some advice from their coaches.
E fare in modo che loro facciano un punto e noi ne facciamo 2. Ok? Non stiamo a costruire, lasciare sassi che possono farne 2 o 3. Come in questa, è bellissima. Poi ha scelto di fare 0, meglio per noi perché...
Here is the story of the first half for Italy. Some very nice throwing there. We'll talk more about percentages, but achieving accuracy in wheelchair throwing, it's more difficult than achieving accuracy in foot player curling. As we said, I've got my 2 teammates to speak nice things for me if I make a mistake. And various other things. So, some nice consistent play from Italy, and they will want to keep that pressure on.
No, mi fai incazzare che a me mi chiedi quelle nascoste, con un 10 da venire a prendere e te quelle scoperte mi rompi il cazzo e mi appoggio.
No, non dovevi, questa qua era giusto portarla via, perché su sta mano qua, che sono stati loro ultimi di mano, massimo un punto.
Then at the other end we have the Korean camp. Here's the story of their first half. Pretty similar. Ever so slightly a wee bit less accurate than their Italian counterparts. That may be reflected in that 1 point lead for Italy.
가운데요? 상대가 가운데 들어.
Bags of experience in this Korean team. It's really experience versus the home team here, which will win out.
Sì.
굿샷! 좋아.
Vedi, questa è bella. Frena però, frena. Bravo. Grande G. Sì.
There is the story of the first half then. And Italy just ever so slightly more accurate. But yeah, the game finally poised. Either team would still be confident of being able to win this game from here. Both teams really seem happy and confident playing defensive tactics, aggressive tactics. Neither team dominating. It is all up for grabs in the second half. That's where we are, the Cortina Curling Olympic Stadium. Beautiful old stadium from the 50s. Very recently renovated so that it can be the home of curling here at the Paralympic Winter Games. And it has certainly been the home for our Italian fans and all of our curling fans who have really brought a magical atmosphere. We are into the 5th end out of 8. It will be Angela Minardi of Italy starting us off. No score in the 4th end. That was on purpose. Korea, they had the opportunity to score 1 point, but they didn't really want to. They don't want to give up last zone advantage and only score 1. So they thought, let's score 0, and then we will keep last zone advantage. And let's try again in this 5th end and try to get more stones in play here. Ninja then being asked for an aggressive first throw. Both teams wanting to use that free guard zone. There's the stone from Italy. That is protected by free guard zone. This shot from Bang Minja, that is just slipping on a bit. I think they wanted that in the free guard zone.
I tempi!
13. 6. Ha preso la mia mente, giusto?
Bravi.
Angela Minardi using that guard that she threw with her first stone, wrapping a stone round the back. That is continuing spectacular play from the Italian lead thrower. Yeah, high five for Minardi after that. Now, as we said, the degree of difficulty for shots in wheelchair curling, the degree of difficulty is higher. Achieving accuracy is more difficult because a variety of things, including that in wheelchair curling, we don't have sweepers. Once that stone's on its way, you don't have sweepers to help you out with the line or to drag that stone a bit further. Also, all that power coming from upper body strength, not from leg drive. But having said that, we are witnessing some pretty sharp shooting from the players on the ice there. And at the club level, those differences not really coming into play as much as they do at this highest level. And at the local curling club, it is absolutely fine. It's very normal for wheelchair and foot players to all play together. You can even play a mixture in the same team. We have several teams at my club who play like that. And I'm a foot player. I'm not a wheelchair user. But everyone can play together. If I was to tell my teammates that Angela Minardi was going to show up and play instead of me if I wasn't available for a game, well, they would be delighted. And it wouldn't even cause comment that we will be playing a mixture of foot players and wheelchair players in the same team. So if you're a wheelchair user or you have a friend or colleague, even if you're the only person who's a wheelchair user at your club, I know people who are the only wheelchair user at their curling club, and they can just join right in with everyone else. The curling club has a delivery stick that you can use. You don't need any adjustment to your day-to-day chair, and you can go right ahead and play with everyone else. It's highly inclusive. So just get in touch with your local curling club or your federation. They will point you in the right direction. Cha Jin-ho just making sure he's comfortable before he throws. We do have ice player assistants out on the ice there, and they manage the stones. So like this yellow is just going out of play. And the ice player assistants, they manage the stones at the throwing end. They clean the bottom of the stone, give that to the player, and oh, there's one.
13!
And they just manage the stones at the playing end as well. Make sure they're not in anyone's way. Ready to throw back down the other end.
Metti un bel punto.
13.
Metti un bellissimo punto.
Dai che buona! Dai che buona! Guarda che bella.
Matteo Rontani roaring a stone down the ice.
Bravo! Buona, buona, buona,
And
buona.
we love to see this from Italy. Going for the aggressive stones. That is asking the question of Korea. They could play defensively here, Italy. Said before in this competition, typically in curling there isn't really a right or wrong shot. If you make your shots, everything's a good idea. But typically there is an aggressive way of doing things and a more defensive way of doing things. And we love to see Italy really taking the aggressive tactic here, asking the question of Korea, putting those yellow stones in play and saying to Korea, okay, what are you going to do about it? Trying to force the issue. Korea 1 point behind with last stone advantage. And it really should be Korea who are trying to get red stones into play here. They should be trying to dictate how the end is going. But at the moment, after the half-time break, it is Italy who are really bossing this fifth end at the moment. Fabrizio is being asked to remove that red counter. Gonzani likes it already. He is quite correct. And now Korea has the decision. No right or wrong shot here. But do they want to play aggressive or defensive tactics? Defensive would be to remove that yellow. Aggressive tactic would be to get a red into play.
Senta!
It's okay to be defensive still in this fifth end. They still have enough time and ends left to switch it up. But at some point, Korea will start running out of ends to be defensive in. The pressure from Italy has worked. They have tried to force this issue with Korea. They want Korea now to try to score 1 point because that would level the score at 4 each, but return last stone advantage to Italy. And that's why Italy are piling their stones in, trying to force Korea to do something about the Italian stones, trying to force Korea to get 1 point here in this end.
9, Fabri.
Good throw from the Korean third. That's Lee Haeyeon-chul.
Dimmi che quando ci sei che ti tengo.
It is fully behind cover, but it did slip a little towards the back of the house there. And there's definitely space for Fabrizio Beek to follow it.
Vado? Sì. Sì. Sì che buona.
That is exactly who you want. Holding your wheels, supporting you is Matteo Ronzi. Well, this is what you wanted to do, isn't it? You wanted to take the game to Korea, force the issue, get stones in play. It is always the risk. Aggressive tactics are high risk, high reward.
Okay.
괜찮아.
들어가야 돼.
여기는 안 약해. 여기는 좀 셀까 봐. 좋지. 이 정도 될 거야.
This looks pretty good from Lee. That is nice there. Oh, it's still yellow that's closest. It's still yellow in a scoring position at the moment. But a couple of reds now in behind cover. They could do with neutralising those reds one way or another. Difficult to remove them because they're tucked nicely in behind that red guard out front. So the way to neutralise those reds would be to just land the yellow right in front of the two of them. You don't need to make those reds go out of play. You just want to make sure they can't score. The team just helping that stone down the ice. Oh, what a throw from the Italian skipper. And for an encore, that yellow just hanging on to the back. Big smile from him. Look at this. He didn't need to remove those reds from play. And Ronsani, he is your hype guy. A great teammate to have on your side. I said this before in the fourth end, but the other way around. If Korea wants to score 2, it will need to be 2 points from the throw of Nam Dongkwang. Ooh, and he has got the double take out there. He's picking off the back one as well. That's a fine throw from him. That brings another blank end into possibility now. We saw a blank end in the fourth, a deliberate score of 0 from Korea. And that possibility also possible here in that fifth end. Solid throw from Egidio Marchese.
Vanno a 0 loro. Grande.
스타일은 괜찮아.
The conclusion then of the fifth end rather, a lot like the conclusion of the fourth. There is one Italian stone in a scoring position.
좋아, 좋아.
Well, look how accurate Wong Kwang has been with his takeouts. That red isn't going to roll out. I suspect they did want a blank end again. I think they would prefer to score 0 there, Korea. But it will be a score of 1 red. Yeah, and you can see a fist bump from Fabrizio Bich there, realising the same thing. Yeah, Korea would prefer to score 0. They would prefer to blank that end. But it is a score of 1 red. That means after 5 ends, scores are level. It is Republic of Korea 4, Italy 4. These two teams could not be any closer. They're on 4 wins and they're on 4 points each. They're about to start the 6th end out of 8. Who is going to blink first in this winner-takes-all encounter? It is the 12th and final round robin in our wheelchair curling event here at the Paralympic Winter Games in Cortina. These teams couldn't be closer. The prize on offer is a spot in the semi-finals, the last spot available. 3 spots in the semi-finals already booked. Only one of these teams can qualify. It is a winner-takes-all. The stakes couldn't be higher and the scores couldn't be closer.
Cos'è, 13? 13?
Sì, 13.
This Korean team coming into this competition in good form. They are the current silver medalists from the World Wheelchair Curling Championships.
Largo.
And they have had a good run on the tour. It's the competitions that they've played this season over the winter. Well, this Italian team, plenty of experience there in this Italian team as well.
Però io l'ho sbagliata.
And the home crowd really cheering their Italian team on. Wouldn't they love to get 2 more games to cheer, a semi-final and a medal game? Korea, they always have plenty of fans as well. Always very well supported, a lot of strength and depth in wheelchair curling in Korea. They have a lot of good players to choose from. That's a nice start from Bang Min-ja. We may see Korea play the 6th end, a lot like Italy played the 5th. It could be that now Korea, they want to take the game to Italy. They want to force the issue a bit. Maybe try to force Italy to take 1 point. Get the last one advantage back. Then we would only have 2 ends to play. Both teams will be calculating from here to the conclusion of the whole game now. What a throw from Angela Minardi. That is a reach. Again, she doesn't need to remove that red from play. What she has done is pop that red behind the tee line. I doubt that red will be important later. And look at that, she's found a happy little place behind cover for her own yellow. And if you can play as well as Angela Minardi, this kind of game where you just keep stones in play, keep stones at the front of the house, just punch things around a little bit. A little nudge here, a little nudge there. That's a very effective way of keeping pressure on your opponents. And now is not the time to start playing some loose shots. Every stone from here could be the difference between a semi-final spot or your competition concluding at the round robin stage. Both teams still have a timeout. That's an official coach interaction. You are allowed to talk to your coach during the game as well. We can see both teams, just checking in with their team bench. But both teams do still have a 1 minute coach interaction.
No!
He doesn't like this one, Roxani. Oh, that's why he realised that wasn't going to curl enough, that shot. That's a pity for him. He's been very reliable in this game, just removing Korean counters, but not quite catching enough of that. He didn't like that once it had left its hand, once it had left his hand. And that's why difficult to get to that red now. If scores are tied after 8 ends, and this game is so close, there is surely a chance of that happening. If the scores are tied after 8 ends, we play an extra end. We must have a winner. And in the event of an extra end, the time clock resets. You don't have to save up time on your time clock just in case an extra end is coming. Both teams would love to get this game over the finish line and book that final place in the top 4. The stadium has been full of flags and cheers and loads of support. It's been a wonderful atmosphere every day. We have had Milo, the Paralympic Winter Games mascot. He has been here many times. He loves this curling, Milo.
Dai che c'è, Teo!
And this is a courageous call. Curling a little bit too much, but that's a good tolerance for that shot. He has opened up access.
Dai Fabri, dai.
That's the result. He has opened up access to that red. He could potentially now punch that yellow back. Yes, this game could not be closer. Is going to come up forward, but I think he's found a really nice line. Yeah, just replacing that stone removed by Matteo Ronzani. Not so easy to just play yellow into red anymore.
Tanto è la tua prima, se mai apri dopo. 10 però!
Fabrizio then. He is now asked for a very delicate shot. You can't see even half of that red, I don't think. Just wants to catch the edge of it. Even popping it out into the open is a nice result. Just curls a bit too early, that stone. And removes his own counter. Just needed it to stay out a little bit longer. But it is now a clearer path again towards that red.
가다 할 건 더 잡고.
We've seen this a few times with the teams. The ice so curly in the modern game. You need to put the brush all the way over at the edge of the sheet. That's not where you think the stone will land. Aim for the brush and then put a handle on the stone. So you put a handle turning clockwise or anti-clockwise. And the way to think of it is aim for the brush plus curl equals target. And that's the skill of the person holding the brush at the other end. That's the skill of the skip, is to know where to put the brush in the right place. Italy still battling away to try to remove that red and causing them trouble all end. It's Italy that have last stone, but it's Korea controlling the sixth end here. You can see more of the stone with the second throw here. Doesn't quite thread the needle.
Vai su Fabri.
Getting closer.
Cosa c'è che ridi?
Danger starting to build though for Italy. We do have last stone here in the sixth end, but they're being bossed around at the moment by Korea. It's Korea who are dictating what's happening at the moment.
카드.
좋아. 3.6 푸시업. 됐어. 아직도 보여?
모두 좋아.
묻었어?
Very much of that pesky red is still visible to Italy.
안 보여?
You can still see it. I think all but an edge.
Questa è la distanza che aveva Vic stamattina per passare, passa un sasso appena.
Ma anche aprirsi mai.
I think this will take the roof off the stadium. If Italy can finally find a path to that pesky red, it's been sitting there the whole end. Marchese also not quite finding a way through all those stones out front. Maybe looking at a pressure shot with his final throw here. This has been a super end from Korea.
욕심내지 마, 그냥 가지.
You can keep it simple. Just the same shot from Korea works very nicely. And then that will
노란 돌은 안 맞겠죠?
force the Italian skip to go around the other way and just try to outdraw that red.
웨이트만 조금 아까보다 약해 하면 돼.
Yep, that's found a nice spot.
좋아, 좋아.
If there is a gap,
세면
that pesky red, it is so thin. I don't think Italy should attempt it. Yeah, I think this is the best idea.
metà blu.
Egidio Marchesi then. He just wants to cover that Paralympic logo. Steady the ship, put one Italian point on the board. Pressure throw for the Italian skipper. Crowd all holding their breath. We want a lovely stone here on the team skip. This looks pretty nice. Even if they can get it down to one, that's a good result actually. That's fine. That is a pressure throw. He was facing 3 counters, or at least 2. And even getting it down to 1 red. That steadies the ship for Italy. That was a battle that end for Italy. And we've seen him do this all evening long. Egidio Marchesi just keeping the ship steady, getting his team out of danger. Korea will be feeling buoyant. That is a steal. They get a point without last stone, and it is Korea who sneak ahead. After 6 ends, they are 5-4, leading Italy.
괜찮아, 1점만 가면 된다. 1점 줘도 되고. Però state a subire. Se non state a subire, se state qua a guardare cosa fanno gli altri, subite. Aggredite,
That is the situation. Such a tense game out there. It is Korea stealing a point in that 6th end. They lead 5-4 going into the 7th. We have only 2 ends left in our winner-takes-all encounter here. It is the 12th and final round-robin session. We started the competition with 10. Some teams already finished now. They have played the other 9 teams in the round-robin. Both of our teams out on the ice here, Korea and Italy. One of them will go to semi-finals. One of them, their competition will stop here. We have 2 ends left to play in regulation time, so to say. If scores are tied after 8 ends, we will play an extra end to decide the winner. And the way this game is going, I would not be surprised.
가드? 앞에 살짝 물려도 되잖아.
살짝 묻어도 돼요.
지금 열자고 열반.
Both teams still have a 1-minute timeout. You can see the game clock behind them on the scoreboard there. That's thinking time. And as soon as the stone goes into play, the stone is running, that clock stops. But both teams, they have a 1-minute timeout. That stops the game clock. And the coach can come down to the ice for a 1-minute consultation.
살짝 들어갔어요.
괜찮아.
That's a good setup from Bang Minja. Our teammates will be happy with her.
Anche 13, Angela.
6?
Korea using their red stones just to put some pressure on Italy. It's getting late in the game for Italy to give up any more points to Korea. So those red stones just putting pressure on. Speaking of, oh, that is so close for Angela Minardi. Perfect weight, just catching the edge of the guard. Not quite getting in behind it. But it's still an aggressive stone. That's still another yellow in play. And that's what we like to see. That's the kind of shots that win you games these days. Back in the 80s and 90s, there's a few rules that were different, and it was a much more defensive game. We were really seeing a lot of big hits coming in, but that doesn't really win you games anymore. It's too defensive. Jinho, he's got a little bonus there. He was a little bit off target, but redirecting from the yellow guard. Will it be a little piece of luck like that that changes the momentum in this game? If you're Italy, you need to not let that kind of thing get into your head. And just focus on your job. That's fine.
Le bocciate buone dovete farle restare però.
Let's think about objectives in the 7th end. Both teams, they will be thinking not only about objectives here in the 7th, but also in the 8th.
반만 보이게끔.
바깥쪽 보이게 할게. 가드야?
아, 가드. 타이트 가드. 타이트 가드. 롱 가드는 필요 없어요.
It's easiest to start with Korea. They are plus 1 point. They lead 5-4. It is Italy who have last stone advantage here in the 7th end. So if you're Korea, a score of 1 point to Italy, that would level the score at 5 each, but you, Korea, would have that last stone advantage in the 8th end. That would be exactly the outcome that Korea wants in the 7th end. They want Italy to score 1. This is one of those ends in curling where a score of 1 to the opposition is exactly what you want, actually. And Korea trying to force the issue by piling reds into the playing area. Trying to force Italy to put yellow stones into play, force Italy to take 1 point. could feel the crowd holding their breath there. Matteo Ronzani just finding enough of a connection. And remove that Korean counter there. We spoke about objectives for Korea. A score of -1 would be good for them. That means a score of 1 to Italy. That's what Korea would like. What does Italy want? Well, obviously, not the same. It's not the end of the world, but it's not a great result for Korea if they score 1 here. Give up last zone advantage. The scores would be level way into the 8th end, so a couple of better options for Italy. One option would be to score 2 yellow points. You would still give up last zone advantage, but you would have a cushion of 1 point. And the other option would be exactly what we saw in the 4th end, and that's a blank end. So Italy deliberately scoring 0 because they want to hold on to that last zone advantage in the 8th end. Well, every time Korea piling stones into that playing area, a blank end, scoring 0, that becomes harder. So everything coming up Korea at the moment in the 7th end.
Sei qua!
No, Fabri, è stretto. È stretto.
Oh gosh. The blank end. Deliberately scoring 0. That is off the menu in the 7th end. Not panic stations for Italy, not at all. That's a blank end, looking highly unlikely. They're about to be looking at 3 Korean stones instead of just 2.
라이언은 괜찮아. 웨이트. 아까보다 약한데.
Very nice work from Korea. If Korea end up scoring a point in the 7th end, they would be stealing a point because it's Italy who have last one, but a point to Korea, that's okay for them as well. That would mean Italy keep last zone advantage, but Korea would have a cushion of 2 points instead of just 1. So that's okay for them as well. So Fabrizio will be not connecting with his first throw. He needs to connect here. He has, but he was very close to a double takeout there. That would have really boosted his team. First things first, too many reds all over that centre line. Fabrizio has switched up the stone placement.
컴. 2초 초반이야? 펜출 이렇게 2초 6 나왔는데.
좀 넉넉히 잡았어요.
아, 저 그냥 들어갈 거면 1초 6이야, 1초 6.
좀만 더.
웨이트만. 잘 온다.
좋아.
웨이트.
3초 하나.
굿샷.
조금 더 하면 일단 2초.
Relentless stuff from Korea. They're not really trying to score points with these reds. They're just trying to force Italy's hand here, but they're doing a terrific job of it.
No, devo guardare la linea se andare da una parte o dall'altra.
Appunto?
Sì.
Sì, bravo.
Ti nascondi là dietro, non ti tolgono più.
No, ma anche sulla rossa o... Su Marice primo appoggio, cosa dici Angela te? Sai che esterno così ci vuole 12,50, sì. Sì. Dai Angela, vero sì che è buona? Ehi! Dai che buona!
Like the look of this one. That is a fine throw from the Italian skipper. How many times have we said that this evening? He is determined to leave his best shots out on the ice there. If that's not enough, so be it. But yeah, a huge roar from Matteo Ronzani. Again and again, Egidio Marchesi coming up with great stones when his team needs him. That's really the key in a game like this. It's so tense, it's so close. And what you want to be able to say is, you know what? I played my best shots. The best game I ever played. We didn't win,
2초 초반까지.
but I hardly missed a thing. So I want both teams to come off this critical game feeling like that was a wonderful game. We played our best shots. And the best team finally won.
웨이트.
2초 4 약하다고 왜 자꾸 내 말을 안 믿어줘. 지금 오른 상태가 지금 안 된다니까.
That isn't really what Korea wanted.
몇 초인데?
2초 반.
2초 반 갖고는
It
안
is
돼.
another red out front there, but it hasn't improved. Yeah. It hasn't really improved matters. They wanted that red in behind everything else, not really in front. And of course, Italy really had their backs against the wall this entire seventh end until the coolest man on the ice got his team out of trouble again, and he will have a throw now. He will be able to put 2 on the board. Italy lying one already. Huge shot here. There is a massive difference between putting 1 on the board here and 2. And the crowd hushed again. Marchesi, a picture of concentration in the 7th end. He needs this stone to be fully 8 foot. It needs to be in the white circle. It needs to get round the front. It needs to get round the front. It needs to keep going, keep going, keep going. Oh, it's not going to. That's about the first shot he's missed.
12,90.
That is a pity for Marchesi. That really is a pity. He played a peach of a shot with his first throw. His team were really up against it in that 7th end. That is a pity, but an important saving shot from Marchesi. Advantage to Korea. Scores are level. As we go into the 8th end, it is 5 each. Both sets of fans can hardly breathe with the tension. Scores are tied. It is 5 each between Korea and Italy as we go into the 8th, and it will be the final end. Whichever team manages 8 out of 8 stones here is likely to find themselves in a semi-final. 8 out of 8 stones for Italy would mean that they've made it too difficult for Korea. 8 out of 8 stones for Korea means they would be finishing off with a shot to the centre. Highly unlikely we will get a blank end. It is possible, actually, but that would be a mistake, basically. Only 15 more minutes then of tension for all the fans. Every stone counts. Minja just not quite comfortable with her setup here. That's not what she wants at this critical point in the game. Both teams then making use of free guard zone. Both of those stones cannot be removed from play yet until 5 stones have been thrown. Now, why did we see Korea going away from centre? What's that about? Why is that a good throw? Well, to understand that, we want to think all the way ahead to the conclusion of the 8th end. If you are Nam Bong-kwang, the skip and 4th thrower for Korea, what's your ideal situation? Your ideal situation is a clear path in the centre. Nam Bong-kwang of Korea, he should be mentally preparing himself to draw to the centre for this game. And that's why we see Korea putting a stone over towards the edge of the sheet instead. Sometimes we can think of that as an insurance shot. So in the event of a hit for the final stone, sometimes you've got a second stone lying around in case you roll out by mistake. This is going to slip on from Bang Minja. It hangs on at the back, but that is not what she wanted. Big chance for Italy.
저기 안 나가잖아.
안 나가. 지금 갑자기 이상해졌어. 휠체어가 안 나가.
Okay, slipping on too far. Deep breath for Matteo Ronzani. There's a chance to put big pressure on Korea here. Doesn't like the look of it.
No, lo stai agganciando.
Wobbled a little bit out of his hand. It's okay. Everything towards centre, everything in front of rings. That's a stone that helps Italy. Maybe wanted it a little bit longer than that, but as we saw, a stone that's too long at this stage, that doesn't help at all. Oh, that was the 5th stone from Matteo Ronzani there. That means free guard zone is over. And from here, I expect to see Korea hit for home. As we said, Nam Bong Kwang, he should already be mentally preparing.
웨이트만 떨어진다. 웨이트.
That is another half shot though for Italy. Rather that Italy can use.
몇 차예요?
A Korean throw from Cha Jin-ho. It's not doing one or the other. It didn't just clear that path, and it didn't catch the stone on the way past either.
Guarda che si vede la gialla qua adesso. Matteo, si vede
So
la
2
gialla
stones
qua.
still out front there.
la gialla, però. Che la
vede
gialla
che
si
c'è la
vede.
gialla,
Appunto.
Chiama time out, dai.
Gioca di qua.
I don't think you need your timeout, Italy.
No, ancora no, vediamo. Gioca e spingi
Don't disturb your
davanti.
rhythm.
13.
Sì.
I don't
Fai
favour
forza punto.
extended jibber jabber, and I'm pretty ambivalent about timeouts. I think best to keep going, keep your rhythm going, make a decision and play it.
Cosa fai?
Un 13 mi ha chiesto. Da promuovere la gialla, ma
Ok, va bene.
Both teams okay
così gli
for
arriva
time.
davanti la gialla col 13,
Well, they don't
Sai,
need to
Angela.
Dai, Matteo.
get involved in too much discussion.
Aspetta.
Io ci sono.
Merda. È lunga.
I think it's a little bit long, Matteo Ronzani. I wouldn't mind connecting with that other yellow. That's fine actually. Now we have 2 yellows. And that yellow, a set-up play from Angela Minardi. It is still there. Now that yellow from Ronzani just connecting with his yellow already in the house.
여기만 가야 돼.
Crowd going bonkers in the background, doing everything they can to encourage the home team to get this game over the line. That is more like it. The home fans cheering that 3rd yellow. Yeah, he does bring that yellow through, but truly that yellow is so unlikely to become important later. Korea will not be too worried about it. Important is that there is much more space now up front. And this is a better idea, better time to call the timeout. Now that there's more space up front, there's a bit of a gap. What should we do about it?
Ragioniamo bene, il tempo ce l'abbiamo.
So, team coach for Italy,
Roby, chiudiamo.
Roberto Maiano, he's on his way to discuss.
O anche appena dentro in casa.
Qua così, chiudere qua.
Sì, appena tazzare
Però non
sarebbe...
dobbiamo stare troppo sopra, che sennò ci vanno dietro.
Ma Roberto, è più facile venire appunto da questa, eh? Sarebbe meglio chiudere da questa.
Allora mettiamoci dietro a quella.
Perché da questa c'è più
A venire
curva.
qua dentro nel verde.
Ma anche un po' più indietro, appena sul coso. Quelle
Appena
davanti
sul blu.
sono per noi
Dove vuoi?
favorevoli
La
per
metti
noi.
sulla scopa, dove?
Ma per venire qua?
Per me è meglio chiudere da
No,
qui,
dobbiamo
secondo
venire
me.
così, io ti do qua.
Andiamo dietro a quella lì,
Tocca
facendo
a me,
questo
tocca a
giro
me.
così.
Ma fai così?
Sì, sì.
No, fai così.
Se loro bocciano la gialla fanno un interroll.
Sì.
Se loro bocciano la gialla fanno un interroll.
Però,
Se
Angela,
bocciano quella restano
Lasciamogli il
dietro.
tiro più difficile, poi se lo fanno, lo fanno.
Vabbè, allora,
Io verrei così, Giglio.
allora mettiglielo qua che
Giglio.
mi rompe le balle.
Esatto,
no,
è quello che dico
Così,
io.
perché di
Però
là...
questa qui,
di là fai più fatica.
Giglio, così no.
No,
è tutta
così,
a te.
così.
Però se la bocci resti dietro.
A highly Italian discussion to follow there.
Prova a vedertela qua giù.
Everybody just discussing all the options, making sure they're aligned. See, now this looks kind of cool if you're an Italian fan. 1, 2, 3 yellows. Tip top. But to be honest, none of them are that important. You don't need to score 3 yellows, you need to score 1.
Questa arrivi a
And what
botto. Da quella
you need
no.
to do with your 1 yellow scoring, you need to protect that yellow. Now, none of those 3 yellows are protected. None of them especially close to the middle, and that's why I fully agree with this call by Egidio Marchesi. We need to use those guards out front. I don't expect any of those yellows, actually, none of the 3 of them. I don't expect them to become important later. We don't need to score 3 yellows, we need to score 1.
Fai quello che avete
And we need to score 1 and hiding behind as much as possible.
Sono buone tutte e due per lui, capito? È molto difficile.
Huge throw for Fabrizio B. He just redirects from his own stone. That's more like it. What a difference that throw makes from B. More stones in play, favours Italy. And this is absolutely the correct shot.
여기 떨어져!
Like we said, the guards, they are helping Italy. It's Italy still trying to get in behind cover there. Doesn't matter really to them that the guards are red stones.
좀 더 붙여줘요.
And if you're Korea, then your objective has not changed. Korea also, they don't need to score loads of stones here. They need to score 1. And the easiest way to score 1 is with a clear path to the centre. That's a lovely throw from the Korean third, Lee Haeyeon-chul. But don't panic, Italy fans. Stones in play, favours Italy. You can just see the edge of that red. Another huge shot for Fabrizio Bich. Tension mounting here. Needs to get round that guard. You don't want to move that guard. And that is not what he wanted, but the good news for Italy fans, he has left his shooter out front there, the yellow just to the right of the centre line. So nobody wanted, but they found a decent spot. And this is now Korea who have called a timeout. To be honest, they don't really need one. There was only one shot that's sensible to play here, and it's removing that yellow.
아니면 가드로 봐야 돼.
가드는 쉽지 않아. 가드를 하기에는 너무 무리가 많아 지금. 아니면 탭에서 그냥 치고 여기로 가든지.
그거도 괜찮아요.
일단은 나는
여기
솔직히
맞고 이걸 보내고
맞고 여기로 가는 게 일단은 최고거든.
가만 있어봐.
우리가 1, 2번만
그러면
되면
지금
돼.
웨이트가
1,
이게
2번만 되면 돼. 1, 2번.
몇 초 하면 되지?
12초로 해야 돼. 안 나가니까. 12초 맞아도 안 나가.
얘를 여기 톡 치고 일로 안
저거는
보여.
잘 안 보여요. 저 보이다가 앞에 걸리는 것만 안전이 안 좋아요.
턱
맞게끔.
가드가 안 되면 너
가드 한번 하라고.
자, 이걸 하면 안 돼?
라인. 아우. 현출아.
빨리 가. 2분 50초 남았어.
Well, let's see how this plays out. There is only one stone that can cause you trouble here, and it's the yellow guard. You do nothing about that yellow. Guess what Italy are doing with their next throw. Nam Bong Kwang, he really needs to, as I said, have mentally prepared to throw his 8th and final stone for the game.
1초 후반.
Let's see if this is a good decision for Korea. As I said, if you're making your shots, everything's the right idea. But the only stone that can cause them trouble is that yellow guard, just to the left of the centre line. Well, and now you have even more stones out front.
In 10.
Egidio, dai, tira fuori tutto il marchese che c'è in te.
Forza punto!
Both teams then have used their coach interaction. They are on their own for these final throws. Over. That's a good set-up throw from Egidio Marchese. Using his own yellow there to try to get a bit of access to that red. Korea, they can't block everything here. What they may try to do is get to the centre first. Or they may try to block the path to that yellow just played by Marchese. Very going bonkers in the background. Line looks decent here. That is slipping on a little high though. Well now. All of those stones pretty close together.
La rossa si fede.
Piena un po' di fianco, la gialla butta via la rossa.
Anche il punto dall'altra non è male.
No. Guarda che c'è.
What a finish to our round robin here in the wheelchair curling event. Both of these teams on 4 wins, both of these teams on 5 points. Both of these teams have one throw left. They've both got plenty of time. Watch this.
Prenditi tutto il tempo che vuoi, che c'hai più di un minuto.
Aspetta.
Final throw. In the 8th end for Guido Marchesi. He has been so steady. Just needs to stay on this line. It hasn't. That is heartbreaking for the Italian fans.
Good game. Good game.
That is heartbreaking. He had such a good game, Marchesi. He was pulling his team out of trouble right and left, but Korea don't need to throw their final stone. That red lying in the centre. Well, you got away with that, Korea. Oh, that is heartbreaking. So close, but that red in the centre, it will score that critical point for Korea. Heartbreak for Italy and the home fans. What a fight.
Ladies and gentlemen, here are the results for this session.
It is a score of 1 to Korea. Living dangerously, but they get there in the end. Here is the final result. It is Korea 6, Italy 5. Heartbreak for the home team. Congratulations to Korea. They grab the final spot in the semi-finals. Big smiles from the Korean team. What a battle that was. 24 hours to take a deep breath and relax. They will be into the semi-finals. At the very last stone of the very last game. 4 semi-finalists are decided. That is how close this competition has been. Here is the story of Korea's game. Not quite their best game, actually. Maybe a little bit of nerves creeping in, the stakes so high, but making critical shots at key times. The fans are delighted for their team. They will be back to cheer them in the semi-finals. Korea having a superb Paralympic Winter Games here at the Curling Stadium. Their mixed doubles team earning silver.
그래 누님이 가운데 해야 돼.
Big.
그대로 쭉.
저쪽으로 나가.
Delight for Korea. I'm sure there will be a lot of viewers in Korea. We always have a lot of fans tuning in. They will be delighted to see their team in semi-finals. They have a chance to fight for medals. There is the overview of the game. And it's an interesting comparison. Italy strong in the draws, but it's Korea that were strong with the takeouts. The accuracy identical in both teams. But finally, it was really making some key shots at some key times for Korea. But couldn't have been any closer. It is Korea who get the victory. Those will be the semi-finalists. Republic of Korea joining Canada, China and Sweden. They will play tomorrow, and the winners progress to the gold medal game, and the losers will battle for bronze. All the fans will be back to cheer for their teams then. A superb win for the Republic of Korea, everything at stake. It was they or Italy who would progress to the semi-finals. The game couldn't have been closer. A wonderful conclusion for the fans. But it will be Korea who triumph at the very last stone, and they will join Canada, China. They will play against Canada. China will play against Sweden. Join us for that.
your name and country.
예. 코리아 남봉광.
Please tell us how close today's match was.
준결승 진출하게 되어 너무 기쁘고 진짜 이탈리아전이 힘들었고 저희가 힘을 합쳐서 잘 풀어간 것 같습니다.
How happy are you to make the semi-finals?
Two?
Okay, yeah, we stop. Sorry, yeah. 1, 2, 3.
네.
Yeah. So how happy to make semi-finals? 1, yeah, okay.